This is my local supermarket. Just like any other supermarket in Japan, currently they are all out of rice. It says you're only allowed to buy one per household, but there's nothing to buy here. It's been like this for a couple of weeks now, and finally today the government-funded media platform NHK came out and told us the truth of what's going on.
My daughter is struggling. She says there is no rice everywhere she goes.
One reason rice is in short supply is an increase in consumption by international tourists. And it's not just sushi. Look at this shop. Recently, these onigiri rice balls are also proving popular with overseas visitors.
Now, you don't have to be an expert in Japanese socioeconomics to start thinking that, is it really true that foreigners are eating so much rice that Japanese people are starving to death? I'm not saying we foreigners don't eat a lot. I wouldn't be the way I am if I didn't. And historically, I've been just fine with them making fun of our eating habits in their TV programs.
But Japan now #1. Love Japan.
But this new claim that tourists are eating all the rice and leaving nothing for the poor Japanese is a bit too ridiculous for my taste. Sure, Japan has had more tourists than ever before recently, around 3 million people each month. But even if all those people ate rice for breakfast, lunch and dinner, the same way the Japanese people do, it would still only account for around 0.5% of total rice consumption. In reality, of course, tourists don't just eat rice when they're in Japan. I've seen the line to Shibuya's McDonald's and let me tell you, it's not just Japanese people. So why claim something this ridiculous in the first place? I think this is just a classic case of someone farting in the elevator and then pointing their finger at everyone else. The simple fact is that the Japanese government has had a bad policy in place for decades. In Japan, there's a rule that reduces how much land can be used to grow rice. This rule is meant to keep rice prices high. If farmers kept growing as much rice as they used to, there would be too much rice and the price would go down. So, to keep prices stable, farmers grow less rice every year. Today, only about 60% of the rice fields are being used, with the rest left empty. You may ask that if this policy has been there for years, why now suddenly has all the rice vanished? Could it really be because of us fat foreigners? No. There's another reason why it's happening right now, but before we go there, let me just tell you that this isn't the first, or probably the last time, Japanese government blames foreigners for their own inefficiencies. The last time this happened was during that virus thing we had for a couple of years, which you can't mention in YouTube for some reason without getting in trouble. However, during that time, every week there was a new article about how it was all foreigners' fault. People believed these, and it wasn't just once that I saw the Japanese running away from me when I entered the local metro. One of the funniest was blaming the plosives in English language as the reason the virus was spreading.
This is a pen. This is a pen. This is a pen. This is a pen.
Let's try this out. This is a pen. This is a pen. Could have a pen this! In the end, it's always easier to blame others instead of facing the fact that maybe you are mishandling the situation. The actual reason why Japan is out of rice is twofold. In the back, the reason why Japan doesn't have enough rice is the bad policy, but what caused people to suddenly start buying rice more than usual is because earlier this month an earthquake hit southern Japan and the government issued a warning that this earthquake might have just been a warm-up for a possible mega earthquake that could hit Japan soon afterwards, which naturally caused people to go out of their minds and buy all the stores empty. Who could have guessed that the people go crazy when they fear something might run out?
Customers run down store aisles at full speed and then quickly start loading up their carts.
Japan isn't the only country in the world to blame things on foreigners, but if nothing else, they do have the funniest ways of doing so. I just honestly feel kinda bad for these people getting interviewed in this video, telling how much they love Japan and Japanese food, only to be used as a scapegoat and rage bait for Japanese people. So the next time you're in Japan and you're about to buy an onigiri, just think of all the starving Japanese people. Peace.